Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to look at the inauguration chart for the United States of America, which will be on January 20th, 2021. Because what I'm seeing is whoever is elected, I don't think that they will stay in office. And I'll explain that just based on this inauguration chart. So let's put up the inauguration chart. And of course, with this inauguration chart, it's always on the same day at the same time every year. So the ascendant is always the same. And we will always have the sun in the 10th house because that's the time of year it is. But putting this chart up, I noticed something that I couldn't take my eyes off of that was so unbelievably unusual, and that is, notice in the first house of this chart, in Aries, is where Mars is exactly conjunct Uranus at 12 degrees of Aries. Exact. That is uncanny. And they're in the first house. Uranus is change, Mars is violent. So violent change is about to occur, something in the United States based on this inauguration. There is a lot of anger and violence that will be surrounding this inauguration. So I wanted to kind of look at this chart in terms of how it's going to change around the time of this inauguration, because from election day, we know that Mercury stations to go direct. We won't know who the president is then. And we also know that Mars is going back and forth and in and out of Pisces and Aries, but finally it will stay in Aries from around December 25th or so through February. And it comes together with Uranus on the day of inauguration. That's some kind of explosive event. That's what this means. So looking at that, I noticed that the sun is right there and it's close to Pluto. And one thing I want people to know is Pluto will be at 0 degrees of Capricorn. This is conjunct the cardinal cross. This is the cardinal tropic of Capricorn. This is like a huge degree, 0 Capricorn. It just entered into the sign of government. And the 10th house is government, and so is the sign Capricorn. Capricorn's actually the 10th sign, so putting Aries on the ascendant, they correlate all the houses to the signs. So also looking at that, realize that the sun is very close to Saturn. It's another sign that something's got to end, something will change. And let me point out again that Jupiter changes signs from election day to inauguration. And let me point out as well that Mars changes signs from Pisces in election day to Aries by the time of inauguration. There is so much change, you've got to know that something gigantic is happening. And on top of that, we do have Rahu in Taurus and Ketu in Scorpio. And these are very intense signs, although I will say they're exalted in these signs, Rahu in Taurus, Ketu in Scorpio. So extraordinarily strong. And notice that there is a Kala Sarpa yoga going on in this chart. All the planets are on one side of Rahu and Ketu. What does that mean? It simply means things are going to be out of control, and the extremes of the highs and lows will be so unbelievable. But one thing I will say with Rahu in Taurus and Jupiter in Capricorn, it's going to be somehow, don't ask me how, but somehow the economy will be going strong. It just says this in the chart. So I find that Jupiter, Saturn together, last time they were together was in 1961 in Capricorn. No, they come together every 20 years, I know. But the last time they were together in Capricorn was 1961. What happened that year? On that inauguration, that was President Kennedy's first inauguration as the President of the United States. So consider that. Very, very interesting. He didn't finish his term, needless to say. So we've got this Saturn. Not only do we have Saturn and Jupiter together in Capricorn, Saturn takes precedent over Jupiter though, because it's in its own sign of rulership. So that makes it even stronger for change and endings going on in the government. But let me point out something else. Saturn is extremely strong. Jupiter disposits, all the planets disposit to Saturn in the 10th house. This is the focal point of what's happening. The leadership, the presidency of the United States. And looking at all these planets here, it's pretty intense. I want you to know one thing I think is remarkable about what's going on in this chart is the fact that Neptune is at 24 degrees of Aquarius. Notice it's exactly at the midpoint of Rahu and Ketu at 24 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. That is the culprit of what's going on. Lies, deceit, deception, everywhere. I'm not going to say what side it's coming from. I don't know. It's everywhere. Something huge is going to be revealed and come out. This world is about, well, the United States. And, you know, this is a chart for the world as well. It's going to go through a major transformational change. And the things we're going to find out are going to blow your mind. That's a promise. You'll remember that. And I'm just kind of in awe of all of these Saturn Sun. That's responsibility, big time. Because of what's happening, I think, at this time in the United States, there is a heavy responsibility put on the leader. If we even have an inauguration day, something traumatic and dramatic is going to happen. And I just want everyone to prepare, mentally prepare, and to be the best you can be, because hopefully there is a possibility that things can be averted. But the way people are behaving right now is not possible, because the low level of consciousness that's going on. And I'm not talking about just the masses of people. I am talking about the leaders. And remember this. I know you've heard me say this so many times, you're sick of hearing it. The president is a reflection of the people. So the more angry, the more violent, the more vile, the more deceptive, the more that people behave in such an angry state, they're going to get a president that reflects that. It is the reflection of the masses. So this is our shadow side that's being projected onto our presidential leaders. And there's a dark shadow side going on. So just be aware and prepare that things are not going to go as you think. It's going to be a radical shift and change, and we will know by this day, January 20th, 2021. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information on me or a consultation, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Or if you would like to study Vedic astrology with me, please come on board and join our community and go to University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.